Hey guys, it's ProjectMak again, bringing you another commentary. In this video I'll be mainly talking about the LAN event that happened last weekend, which is EGL 8, and at the end of the commentary I'll be answering a couple of questions that some people had on Twitter for me. Okay, so first of all, when you're talking about a LAN event, you've got to talk about the location. EGL 8 took place in Manchester, and to be honest was a breath of fresh air compared to the normal Blackpool. The LAN actually took place at Event City, which is next to the Trafford Centre. And it meant that instead of just stoating about the Norbrick between games, because obviously the town was too far away, players now had the chance to visit one of the biggest shopping centres in the UK, if not Europe, I think. And I can safely say that my team took advantage of the great food that was on offer in the food court. There was a lot to choose from TGI's, Nando's to Gourmet Burger. It was class, to be honest. EGL 8 also shared the venue with Replay, which meant that players could also use some of the old machines that we grew up with, like the PS1 and the N64 and stuff like that. It was actually pretty fun to play all the old games, which is basically how we got to where we are today. Halo 4 and the Wii U was also there, but you kind of had to wait in a queue that looked as if it might take you a few hours to get to play it, so we gave it a miss. And also Scuff Gaming was in attendance at the event, which is always a little extra. Especially since those guys really treat everybody they speak to really well. I want to say a huge thank you to them for sorting out with a couple of controllers over the weekend. They also gave me the new Scuff Animal, which I'll be doing a review about in the next couple of days, just as I need a couple of days just to get used to it and really get my thoughts on it. Okay, so secondly, the event, the competition itself was actually run pretty smoothly, albeit there was a couple of glitches with the stream again. Hopefully this will be sorted for future events. I think it was something to do with equipment not get delivered on time. As I mentioned before the event, there was a lot of American teams showed up, so I think we're going to see 4. Optic, Envy, Leverage and TKO were all in attendance, and for the most part were extremely friendly. I was particularly impressed with both TKO, which is Too Quick, Killer, Fizz Up and Revan, who filled in for Saints, I think, and Envy, which was Proofy, Parasite, Twiz and Dido. Both these teams fitted very quickly with the EU scene and seemed to integrate no problem at all. You hear a couple of stories about certain players and their attitudes, but personally from my experiences with those guys at the weekend, they were class acts. They really spoke to everybody, they were really friendly, they joked about, they got really involved. It was nice. I was going to talk about the bracket a little bit, in my opinion of it, but I think that's kind of been done to death over Twitter. As most people know, we got quite a difficult bracket. We got Envy third game, and obviously that wasn't great. We ended up losing to them. At the end of the day, I don't want to make any excuses. We should have done better. Other teams gave them a lot better game than we did, so obviously we just went up to par on the day. Obviously TCM won the event, and I want to say a huge congratulations to them. It was a hell of a victory, not only for them personally but for Europe in general. After reading some of the comments pre-game and during the game, there seemed to be this kind of idea that we were miles behind the Americans, and though I'll say that I still think we're quite a bit off. I think this event more than anything else showed that we're a lot closer than anybody gave us credit for. Josh obviously got MVP for the event, and I couldn't be happier for the guy. He's a great guy and he puts a lot of time into the game and he deserved it. Personally though, I thought Rich probably just edged him to it in my opinion. Came up clutch time and again. He proved a lot of people wrong. One of the best parts of the whole weekend in my opinion was that people who placed in the money EGL 5 were actually given an envelope of cash at the event, which was a nice little bonus of spending money. Another great part of the whole experience was the Friday night. A couple of players were invited to a VIP party at the Kyoto Lounge in Manchester, and there was a couple of pretty important people from the Call of Duty scene like AC Bongos and ATVA Akis were there. We got to play a little mini 2v2 tournament, and obviously the drinks were flowing and it was quite a good night. It turned out to be quite a success and everyone ended up pretty drunk. So that's really it for the event itself. If you guys have got any more questions about it, then please feel free to put it in the comments and I'll try to answer them as best as possible. I'll just answer a couple of the questions that I got over Twitter finally. This is just the first couple I received. So Link JRH asks, if you quit Call of Duty to play another game, what would it be? It would easily be League of Legends. I'm totally addicted to the game and I play it a lot more than Call of Duty at the moment. If I could get good enough to play it professionally, I think I would without thinking about it twice. Chirpsy God asks, do you think Optic are still the best team in the world? For Modern Warfare 3, I think there's no question whatsoever that they have to be considered the best team to play the game. The consistency they showed across multiple LAN events basically means that there's no doubt that they're still number one in my opinion. And finally, NFT Assassin asks, how's your team planning on improving for Black Ops 2? Basically the same way we always do. We'll try and play it a hell of a lot at the start to get to grips with the new game mechanics. Try and do that as quickly as possible. We'll try and establish callouts as soon as we can and really just put a lot of time and effort into it, to be honest. That's really what you've got to do. So that's it for this commentary, guys. I know it's quite short, but I hope you enjoyed it. I'll have another video up in the next couple of days. As always, please like, subscribe and follow me on Twitter. Cheers.